Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Retreat Be a Toast with our hosts, where we highlight the hosts and retreats that are listed on our platform and we bring the journey of these retreats to life. So today we have Ludi, who is hosting the HuBatin Retreat in Bali this February 2025. So welcome. We're so excited to hear more.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for taking the time today.
Absolutely. So Ludi is a yoga teacher, Reiki master, avid traveler, and sales and partnership strategist. So why don't you just tell us a little bit more about yourself and your journey to hosting retreats?
Yes, absolutely. So yoga came to my life pretty early on. So I guess as I've been practicing yoga for 10 years. I've been working in the tech industry for 10 years, which are actually a super different word, but it has been super complementary for me. All the business word, negotiation, especially within sales and the partnership word. So then what happened is, long story short, in end of 2019, I decided to move to Australia, start something new because I'm originally from Barcelona. And after 4 years in Australia, which has been amazing, Australia will always feel like home. I decided to move on and spend 1 month in India. This is where, so last year, actually, at that right time, I was in Rishikesh and decided to go full on and say, all right, I think yoga, it's something for everyone. It has been giving me a lot from a personal side, also from a personal side. I will tell you a bit more about it, but I do believe in actually bringing mindfulness into working places. So being there, obviously fell in love with the place. Not sure if you've been to India, but it's something that actually it traps you in a very good way. And after that, I decided to actually start teaching. So came back here, came back to Indonesia, to Bali, been teaching, and then for how life is when everything is connecting is and flowing. Someone I met actually the year before, which was actually the reason why I did my yoga teacher training, which was my guru, which is Munanti. She's actually from Bali. We had a chat, met again in Ubud, and out of the blue, we decided to make this happen. So creating a retreat. So this is what we're actually offering here, but not only the part of the mindfulness and yoga, but also all the tradition around Bali.
Incredible. It's interesting. I actually have been to India, but it was before I kind of started on this journey with wellness and yoga and spirituality. I went for my first corporate job. I actually spent a month in Mumbai. But even without embracing any of the yoga there, just the culture and the experience in general, like it was truly incredible. It was a month that changed my life. So I would love to go back one day. I'll have to get some recommendations from you.
You have to absolutely and get lost there. Just let it flow. That's the best way
I
to
love
discover
that.
India, I guess. And just so big, so much
I
to do.
love that. So this upcoming retreat, just share more about what is that experience going to be like? What can people expect and look forward to?
Yes, absolutely. So it's in February. We still have time to, for people to get on board and obviously think about it. So it's a week. It's a week where everything actually is included, so you don't have to think about anything, which is really cool. So everything is going to be organized from the pickup from the airport to leaving you back to the airport, or if you decide to stay in Bali with accommodations. Let's start with the accommodation. It's private accommodation, so each participant will have their own room with bathroom, a desk as well, because there's a lot of people still working online, so there is time as well if you decide. So it is actually a good combination for people that are to also work a bit, so digital nomads, but also people that are just looking to relax, because there's plenty of things to do around the place. It is near Ubud, so it's half an hour from up north. From the people who knows Ubud, it's getting very busy. So the good thing with this location is it's really quiet. You just, the rice fields, so picture that. You can see the Wombat Wood every morning with the sunrise, but at the same time, you just a half an hour drive from the city center of beautiful Ubud, with markets and shops and a lot of things happening. And then, so in terms of activities, as I said, you have, so again, as I said, nothing is mandatory. A retreat is for you. So you decide whatever you want to do. Obviously, there's a schedule. I'm personally a really well organized person, so I need something. But we would always have a more uplift class in the morning, with a hatha, a vinyasa, and always a class within the evening, afternoon. So a neo-yin, for instance, a nidra. And it's going to be really, we want something which is going to be really personalized to the participants. So it's going to be very important. And I'm going to take the time personally to meet each participant online, to check about expectations, how are they within their yoga/mindfulness retreat is really important. So then beyond the first class in the morning and workshops such as journaling, we'll have how to craft the offering, that Balinese are making offering every day. So we're going to learn also. It's not only practicing, but I want people to get out of the retreat with learnings. And also Munanti will share a lot about the Balinese culture, which is great. We do have a fire ceremony, we do have a water ceremony. I'm not going to tell more about it because it's best to discover actually. Once we're there, we do also have ball ceremony. So there's a lot happening, but I don't want this to feel for the participant too much. So it's really more about personalized. What are you looking to achieve in the retreat? But what we want is people to disconnect from the world, because I myself from Europe, I'm really lucky to live in Bali, which is different. So I would love to bring these people into, that kind of headspace of peace of mind. This is what we're looking at. That's the ultimate goal, I would say.
I love that. That sounds incredible. And I so get that too, because even when I host my own retreats, there's such a delicate line of wanting to share all of like the magic behind the scenes, but then also wanting to be like, there's so much magic of showing up and kind of being delighted at the different things that are planned. Because even when you hear some of these things, it's hard to really imagine like, what does that really mean and entail? And some of that magic is just finding out in the moment. So I love that.
100%.
Yeah. And when you were kind of crafting this retreat, did you have anyone in mind when you were thinking through it? Like you mentioned wanting people to have the opportunity to disconnect. So was there just kind of anyone you were thinking of when you were making decisions in the planning process?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So first, Munanti, she has been part of many retreats. I mean, she's doing retreats. So she's not part of she's the one actually doing the workshops so she has been in touch with many people, so she has been receiving a lot of feedback. I've been also asking friends around, right, hey, what would you like, how would you picture the perfect retreat for me? Yeah. Which is come around a bit of my experience as a salesperson, right, because at the end you have to craft, which is I guess I'm lucky having this mix of mindfulness and yoga teacher and reiki master, but also on the other side, more techie person. So it has been like this, and also being really open to changes. If I do have, for instance, tomorrow a big group of people, then it is also possible to organize retreats outside of this, because we do have the space available all the time. So this is something actually interesting to mention. If it is a lovely group of lovely soul, men or women, they're looking to do something a bit different. Happy to help and craft something also more personalized.
That's amazing. I love that. And I think it's so interesting, like to have the space like that too, and to be able to make it more personalized for whoever does like feel called to show up is such a cool opportunity. And then on
Indeed,
this
yes.
retreat, yeah, and on this retreat, just because I think it's always helpful for people in the booking process to understand more about the ratio of like community time and maybe time for like integration or alone time. Like, what does that ratio between togetherness and alone time look like?
Yeah, oh, that's interesting. So as I said, so from the if we're actually taking the schedule, I would say from a day, we would have, yeah, maybe, so when the workshops and everything would be, yeah. So if we take the day of let's say 10 hours that you would be awake. I mean, if you have to sleep, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
But we would say from would say 60 to 70% that would be having activities. That would be what we would have in mind. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I think it's just always helpful for people to get a sense of what that'll look like. And then are you asking, when people are coming on this retreat, are you asking them to kind of sit with any sort of intention? I know you mentioned like disconnecting. Just, is there anything more that you're kind of asking people to have an intention for in this retreat?
Actually, yeah, this is a great question. To commit, not commit toward us, but commit toward themselves, because it's an investment, right? They're coming all the way from their home country to Bali, so it's committing, I guess, to make the most of this experience. And but it's something I will actually send some also questions before starting the retreat to because I think the retreat is not starting the day you actually getting into Bali. It's actually starting the day you decide to join and to sign up. So
I
there's a
love
work
that. Yeah.
between the time you decide, all right, I'm committing, I'm going to do this. How do you prepare? And when I say preparing, it's not that you have to start doing 5 hours of yoga per day, because also I know that Munanti and myself, yoga is not how flexible you are. No, I always say it's not how it looks, it is how it feels. So for all the people also out there say, oh, I cannot do yoga. That's wrong. Yoga is for everyone. It's something is super important for me, sharing. So yes, I think the big word would be commitment.
I love that. And I love the idea. It's how I teach yoga as well. Just around, it's not about being flexible or how it looks or what you think it should be. It's just what it feels like in your body and creating space for that experience. So I love that that's very similar to your approach as well. And then when you
Amazing.
think about what you want like your retreaters to be feeling or thinking or embodying by the end of their time with you in Bali, how would you describe that?
Yeah, I think if I can summarize three, the first would be feeling better mentally, physically, and soully. I can say that. Is that English?
Yeah.
But really, like being more connected, grounded. That's the first one. The second, I would like them to have learned something about Bali, because the culture is amazing. There's many things you can actually take away, even if we live in busy cities or busy countries. We can actually take a lot. And when I say, I think the first thing, and which is what I like here, people, they tend to wake up very early, wake up with the sun, and do something for themselves before starting to work. So they go to
Yeah.
pray, they go to do some practice. So this is super important. I think if everyone would have, the morning routine, I guess you do have your morning routine, Ryan. And when you don't do it, it's another word. So that would be the second time. And the third time, I would like people to get up with lovely connections. I'm not saying best friend forever, but people that actually, being able vulnerable and sharing stories, and have met mind-like people, because I've been hearing a lot. People saying, "Oh my gosh, for instance, Ludi, I don't have friends like me anymore." Like, what do you mean? Oh, they are, with they like certain activities, or let's say yoga or mindfulness. Yeah, but you have to put yourself into that kind of activities to meet these people. So I know
Yes.
these people out there, they feel a bit alone. So this is going to be really important. That's why for me, meeting all the participant beforehand, having time to have this conversation, because saying maybe already some connections that could happen between people. So again, I really want to emphasize that this is not a camp. This is not gonna go out with best friends, but having this conversation, safe space, sharing, again to grow.
I love that. I think there is so much different type of friendship found in spaces like this. And it almost feels like you've known them in such a long time because there's so much vulnerability and honesty anyways, that it's like even if you have your doubts of like, oh, I don't know these people. It might be a totally new experience. I don't know anyone going. You leave kind of wondering, like, I don't remember a time I didn't know these people before, because that's really just kind of how much you get to know each other in these spaces, which is such a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Yes.
I love that.
We know
I
that
love
we can. I'm pretty sure we always have some names that, oh yeah, I met that lovely person during that retreat, and they actually take a special place on our hearts. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And especially traveling too, because then you just get to meet people from truly all over. And I find that those connections too that are made in places that we don't live, like going to Bali, like it's such a special type of friendship too, because you'll probably travel with that person again, or you'll cross paths in some way. And it's just a very special connection that kind of transcends like space and time. Like you'll always meet up with that person somehow.
absolutely.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing more about your retreat. So excited to share this episode with everyone. I know most people, Bali is so high on their list. So I'm excited to share this experience with them. And for people wanting to get more information on connecting with you, where can they go? And I'll be sure to link it in the bio, but if you want to mention it as well for anyone listening.
Yeah, perfect. So, for the one who have been in Bali, everything worked through WhatsApp. This is a
Amazing.
best way to communicate, but obviously emails, so WhatsApp. I'm more than happy also to have this conversation, even for people, before they actually make the decision to come. I know it's a big commitment. It's a retreat. You're investing time. You investing funds. So, I'm more than happy, to take the time having this call, discover about the person, and also being really transparent. If it's not for you, not for you at that time, maybe we're going to organize something which is going to be more close to what you're looking for. So it's really all about not a retreat, but it's joining Munanti and myself into this journey. It's something we're going to do all together. So
I love that. Well, and just a reminder that on the Retreat the app, you can also send a chat. So if you have any questions or want to set up that call, message Ludi there, or find her on social media, and ask some questions. This retreat sounds like it's going to be an amazing one, so don't miss out. And thank you so much. This was an amazing episode. I'm so excited to share it out with everyone.
thank you so much, Ryan, for your time.